Hey there, everybody. Welcome to our review of Better Call Saul Season 6, Episode 8, Point and Shoot. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. I love this episode. I'm still reeling from this episode. Like, how just well shot, well written, well done was this?
That ending really got me right in my heart. Listen, Howard was
Yeah.
not always the greatest guy, but the idea that he was going to be actually buried in that meth lab the whole time through Breaking Bad, that he was there in a grave with the man who shot him was just like that. Listen, he wasn't the greatest guy ever, but he didn't deserve that. And it was rough. It was good and well done, but wow.
Man, justice for Howard. It was such a brutal ending.
Brutal.
Everything about this episode, I think, was brutal in so many ways because, it's Jimmy and Kim facing their consequences. This is like Mike going darker than Mike has ever been. I mean, we have a ton to talk about. But, before we go further here, be sure to hit that subscribe button, because there are a handful of episodes of Better Call Saul left. And if this one was crazy, we still don't know what's going to happen to Kim, to Gene in the future. There's a lot still to be unraveled. We want you guys to be with us for the ride, to talk through everything, to share our theories. So go ahead, hit that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out.
We're also covering Only Murders in the Building here at the channel. And next month, House of the Dragon is going to be starting up. We're going to be covering that here as well. Also, follow us over on Instagram. There's some Las Vegas adventures that happened this past weekend. And it's a great place to keep up with us sort of away from the channel.
Las Vegas adventures, much more happy than anything that happened in this episode, we can say.
There was a milkshake adventure, a boozy, chocolatey, minty, delicious milkshake, and there are pictures over there. It was crazy. If you guys have never been to Holston's, it is wild, these shakes. Anyway,
if there's any one character on this show anyway that needs like a boozy, minty milkshake at this point, is it Jimmy McGill or is it Kim Wexler? Because they both went through it in entirely different, horrible ways.
Oh, they absolutely did. That was heart-wrenching. That scene where, Lalo lays out the plan. He's like, okay, Saul, Jimmy, you're going to get into this car. You're going to drive over to Gus's house. There's a gun in there. There's a camera in there. You're going to ring the doorbell. You're going to shoot him. You're going to take a picture. And you come back. No problem. It'll be all taken care of. Watching the two of them, Jimmy and Kim, go back and forth with who is going to stay there with Lalo and who is actually going to go was squeezing my heart, because it really was whoever was going to stay with Lalo was probably going to end up dead.
Yeah.
And they both knew it.
I'll admit, I'll take a little bit of the L on this because at first when that scene was going on, I don't know, maybe it's just I don't always expect the best out of Jimmy McGill. So when Jimmy starts Kim needs to go, I was just like, how dare him throw Kim under the bus, make Kim do this horrible thing. But then, about 10 seconds later, I realized everything that you were saying. And I was like, oh, he's trying his best to protect her, and she doesn't want him to do this. Kim is also willing to fall on her own sword. That was one of the most intense scenes for these two, but I think it's also the biggest reminder that we've had of how much these two love each other, because they're both basically saying, I am willing to die so that you can live, and I will be stuck here with Lalo, the most horrible, terrifying person on the planet.
Yeah, it's a really tough decision for both of them. If you don't stay there and potentially get killed by Lalo, you are going to go and commit a murder. And you're a lawyer. So this is, they've done some shady things, but they're still there to uphold the law the best that they're going to. I know we all know where Saul ends up.
Yeah.
And, Kim has been on some bad choice road, but they're not killing people. So, it was really difficult for them. And it was difficult to watch that back and forth where they were kind of like, no, you get to live. No, you get to live. But whoever lives has to live with the fact that they've killed somebody.
Okay, now it's time to get into some really, I don't know if this is big brain crazy talk or if this just pure crazy talk, but I'm gonna say this anyway. Okay, Kim is off with the gun. She's there to take out Gus. Like, Lalo is about a million steps ahead of everybody for, like, the vast majority of this episode, with one very clear exception. But he is so far ahead. I kind of wonder, looking back at a lot of this, is he realizing, all right, you know, Kim, she's going to be there. I don't necessarily think everything is going to go through. So am I using this in a way to sort of divide and conquer, to create a sense of panic at the Gus Fring compound so that I can then come in, take out the remainder of Gus's guys, and really push everything forward from there?
Yeah, I think that this was the plan all along for Lalo, which is, you know, him getting killed in this episode. It's, you know, yeah, we have a couple more episodes still. Like, he was just such a solid villain because he really was 10 steps ahead, and Gus is a guy who is typically 10 steps ahead. So to have these two going up against each other, it was really kind of crappy to see it end so soon, because it really was played out like this, where he's kind of like, okay, I'll send Kim over here. I'm dealing with Jimmy over here, and him just tying him up and be like, I'll be right back. I was like, okay, where's he going? Is he going to go and follow Kim to make sure she goes through with it? And the minute he showed up at the laundromat, I was like, oh, here we go. Here's the real plan.
Yeah.
Keep everybody busy over here being like, look what's going on over here with Kim and this gun and all this stuff. And then be over at the laundromat.
It pays off so much too, like Lalo being the Ninja Turtle and like hiding, you know, in the sewage systems and all of that sort of stuff. It's like, all right, Lalo, we see you, we understand you. I wish I didn't understand you sometimes. Okay, this is what I'm the most mad about, is like you said, I wanted more of the Lalo versus Gus Fring, but I was all in on the Lalo spinoff show. I understand that Lalo is a horrific human being and a murderer, but there's something so compelling and charismatic about him, and I freaking love Tony Dalton, and I didn't even know him that well before this show. I would have watched 3 seasons of this Lalo going around and just being horrible.
Oh, I absolutely would have watched a Lalo spinoff. Absolutely, 100%. And, you know, is it possible maybe we could get it like before all of this? Maybe? You never know, right?
Anything is possible. And even for a lot of this episode, I was still holding out a lot of hope that somehow, some way, Lalo was going to make it through. And the only reason why is just like that throwaway line in Breaking Bad where you have sort of Jimmy/Saul and he mentions Lalo, and the way that he's talking about him, it makes you think that, okay, maybe Lalo is still out there. And granted, you know, Mike didn't say to him that Lalo was dead. He just said that Lalo was gone, and maybe Jimmy doesn't ever really find out that he's dead. But if Mike said to me Lalo is gone, I think I would know what that meant.
The way Mike said it, where he was like, he's gone, and they were like, oh, no, he might come back. Look at me. He's gone. I think it's extremely clear that he's dead. I mean, he's got people in the other room stuffing Howard into a fridge. Clearly, Mike is a guy who is killing people and stuffing people in a fridge and cleaning things up. So this isn't, I think they understand what has happened. So if that is the case, then where is that connection then later on in Breaking Bad? Is he just making things up? Is, you know, what is actually going on? Because he knows he's dead.
I think you probably just hit it. I think he probably does know that Lalo is gone, and I think in that moment in Breaking Bad, he's just probably like spouting off stuff, hoping that, you know, not everybody else is gonna know exactly what he does. And we know that Jimmy/Saul is so quick on his feet and will just sort of talk his way out of trouble. I mean, he talked his way out of potentially dying in his own apartment because he wanted to keep Kim safe.
Yeah, and talking people out of killing them. And sort of getting some time here to be able to craft something. We saw that with Gus. So we saw Lalo show up. He's at the laundromat. Gus, all of his guys are dead. He's decided he's going to make this video to kind of just expose everything. Look, this is, what is this? It's of course the meth lab, and everything is, going the way that's going to be going. You want to have Gus gone, and I'm here to give you as much sort of deliciousness of his death that he possibly can with this video camera. And having Gus play it out so that he could get time to really think of a plan, be like, oh, right, I got a gun over here. Okay, I can maybe turn the lights out over here. There was some tension there, but for me, this has always been sort of the issue with this show, which is that we know where most of these characters are going to end up. We all know that this is not where Gus dies. He was going to make it out of this alive. So really, the tension of like, could Gus die here? Like, what could happen to him? It's like, well, nothing's going to happen to him. He's going to get out of this okay. So really, the tension was around Lalo.
Yeah, I really thought that Lalo was going to make it out of this at this point. I didn't necessarily know how. I thought maybe he would hear other people coming and he would run away, or he would do something to maybe get out for a little while.
I was thinking that too. Maybe like a running away when all the lights were out and Gus stopped sort of hearing anything. I was waiting to sort of hear that pitter patter up the metal stairs and out the door kind of thing.
Okay, here's where we got to give some like performance grades on this stuff. Lalo, you were like an A+ leading into this moment, but I got to give you at least like a D on the whole end of this. And it's just because, did you not go to villain school? Like, the number one rule they should teach in villain school is don't monologue when you have what you want. And at least I would be really mad about this if they just made him monologue for no reason. At least they came up with the whole, here's my video for Donaladio thing that was kind of believable. But even still, Lalo killed Hamlin in approximately 0.5 seconds. Like, he had Gus in front of them. He could have taken out Gus, even with body armor on. His head is exposed at any given moment. Meanwhile, Gus, I give you an A for your ability to just wander around like a dead fish for like minutes on end, and you look so pathetic, but you were thinking the whole time.
No, Lalo videotaping him and bringing him around and whatever, all of that was an A+. I absolutely believed it. We've seen Lalo bring kind of similar gifts already, so this video was going to be like a 10 out of 10 gift. However, once they had Gus being like, I want to say all these things that I will not repeat in this video for demonetization. I do not want that. It was sort of like Don was not going to want to hear this. Yeah. This was not anything, the part of the gift that Lalo was putting together. Like, once he started watching that part of the video, I'm sure he'd be like, I'm not really that excited to watch Gus calling me names, calling me fat, all these other things, again, that I won't repeat. But I was just kind of like, I don't think Lalo would have let him call him all these names.
It really felt like a big echo to the Nacho thing earlier this season where, they gave Michael Mando that huge screw you guys monologue before he died. And I maybe it's a callback, but yeah, I agree that I think that just Lalo, I think Lalo would have taken him out already. I understand, of course, like you said, you can't get rid of Gus, but, seeing the demise of Lalo, it was still well done. If somebody is going to take out Lalo, it has to be Gus Fring. Like, if Jimmy had, for whatever reason, taken out... Jimmy's just not that guy. It wouldn't have been realistic.
No, not unless it was by accident or had to, like, really life or death, or Kim was in danger. Then I could see him doing it, but I mean, he's not gonna... He would not be the same.
Here's where things get even more interesting for me now, moving into these final episodes, is that on paper, and those are very big words here, but it feels like everything is okay for Jimmy and Kim. It's like Mike has come up with the plan for Howard's body. He's got the whole ocean set up. Everything is going on there, and he's preparing them to go back to work, to do their thing. But we obviously know something very bad still happens to Kim. So it's like, how does something unravel from this? Because Mike did tie up some of the loose ends.
Well, here's the thing that I'm wondering, because Gus is also not a person to just leave two witnesses out there like this. He's very methodical with everything he does. So the idea that these two lawyers are still out there and they know all this stuff, I could see him kind of circling back around to that later to kind of be like, okay, maybe we need to get rid of them as well, or maybe we have to find a way to bring them into the business a little bit more, because if we don't have a handle on that, we don't really know what they're going to end up doing. It could be tomorrow, it could be next month, it could be 5 years from now. Jimmy's drunk at a party telling people about the time Howard got stuffed in a refrigerator.
It's true, and that's something that they have to sort of address, and that's something Mike didn't necessarily say to Jimmy or Kim, was just like how much they owe Gus and his organization, because Kim was there theoretically to kill Gus. And I kind of think on the other side of this, they're going to be in a spot where, you know, it's said to them, you owe us. You have to do these sort of things. Like you mentioned, if they're going to get more wrapped up in the organization, like, is it possible that, you know, Gus says, okay, Kim, you now have to go to insert location here that's far away and help me from afar, and maybe that's where she goes. I mean, I've been saying I think Kim gets arrested. I'm still going to just be on that hill because I've already staked my claim on it. I still want to believe that she's alive, but there has to be something that happens because of this and Gus and Mike.
Yeah, and we've already seen it kind of play out like this with Gus and Nacho, and having him doing stuff for him even though he really didn't want to. I could easily see that playing out this way as well here.
Yeah, and it makes sense that Gus wouldn't just take them out in that way, because, you know, what does Gus need? He needs quality representation. And yes, we know that Saul Goodman does not always represent quality, but Kim Wexler is a quality attorney, and it benefits him to have one of those in this world.
Well, also, I don't think Gus needs 3 dead lawyers that all know each other sort of surrounding his organization. That's going to start having people sniffing around.
Just emotionally too. Like, I don't know how Jimmy and Kim are going to be capable of like waking up the next day and being like, let's forget about the fact that we just saw Howard get shot right in front of us.
Yeah, that moment where we saw Jimmy look out into the hallway and he saw Howard getting stuffed in that refrigerator, like, there are some things that Jimmy has seen now that he will never, ever unsee. And we all know that he's going to end up Breaking Bad by the end of this, and that he's not going to be the same guy. Jimmy's going to be completely gone. He's going to be entirely Saul. But all of these things that are happening to him are bringing him towards that. This moment, I think, just put another scar on him.
Yeah, this episode is just full of these like scarring moments, these powerful moments. I mean, Bob, Ray, Tony Dalton, John Carr, everybody was at the top of their game. I'm so excited, terrified for what is coming up. That's why we need you guys to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of that. We know Gene is coming. Gene is going to be a part of this at some point.
We will be here every Monday night after the episode with a video right away for you guys. So hit that subscribe button and stick with us.
We'll see you here next time.